How frustrating is it to lose something and spend a lot of time looking for it? Car keys, remote control, cell phone, wallet. You can never be sure where it will turn up, but you can be sure that you will find it wherever it was left last, probably by yourself. It's always like that with the small things in life. Is it the same with the big things? Hi, I'm Father Anthony from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. So wherever you are, I pray that you are staying home, healthy and holy. Today, for most Christian disciples around the globe, is Holy Saturday. Today can feel a bit like a spiritual no man's land between the desolation of the cross on Good Friday and the unbridled joy of the empty tomb on Easter Sunday. In this we are no different from the first disciples on that Saturday before the resurrection. We can connect with them even more this year because, like them, we are very much in lockdown. The first disciples stayed in because it was the Sabbath. No activity was permitted. But they were also in self-confinement because they could feel a sense of dread hanging in the air. Like them, some of us may be fearing the worst with this current pandemic. The Gospel paints us this picture of some women disciples stepping out of this situation as soon as the next day dawned. They are looking for Jesus, or at least for his body. So they go looking where they last left him, in the tomb, just to see. So let's follow the story from Matthew's account. And you will find it in chapter 28. After the Sabbath, as the first day of the week was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to see the tomb. And suddenly there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord, descending from heaven, came and rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothing white as snow. For fear of him, the guards shook and became like dead men. But the angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid. I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, for he has been raised, as he said. Come, see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he has been raised from the dead, and indeed, he is going ahead of you to Galilee. There you will see him. This is my message for you." So they left the tomb quickly with fear and great joy and ran to tell his disciples. Suddenly Jesus met them and said, "Greetings." And they came to him, took hold of his feet and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. There they will see me." Do not be afraid. Go. Tell my brothers to go to Galilee. The last time we see the disciples in Matthew, they are busy fleeing and abandoning Jesus. But he won't flee them now, nor will he abandon them. Instead, he wants to see them again. He has a message for them, but also a meeting place, Galilee. But why in Galilee? If he can now be anywhere, anytime, is it really necessary to ask them to trek back to Galilee to see him again? What's wrong with Jerusalem? Jerusalem is the holy city ordained by God. If you are expecting to find God, surely this is where you would go to find him. And yet Jerusalem was now hostile to them. It had rejected them. Instead we have Galilee, which was just a small province. We only know about it today because it is the place the disciples called home, and the place, the setting, where they first encountered Jesus. Jerusalem, for all its imposing religious buildings and symbols and heritage, had actually lost them their faith in him. So their faith, their life, needed to be restored, reset. And Jesus knew just the place for that. He wants to take them back to the beginning, because he wants to show them everything that has happened since they first met him through new light, especially now that they really know him and really believe in him. But all of this is held together by his soothing message. Do not be afraid. Because they should have been. You could expect the disciples to be afraid. If Jesus had risen from the dead, then he must be all-powerful. And what if he turned that power against them as they deserved? What if he demanded satisfaction for their cowardly and unfaithful behavior? But that's not Jesus' interest. His interest is to be found. All he asks is that you go there and tell others. So it's the same with you. Jesus didn't rise from the dead to judge you and harass you. He is risen to tell you, do not be afraid. He wants to meet you again in Galilee, on what is home turf for you. He wants to help you see your story through new light, from his perspective. He wants to help you understand how he has been with you throughout, even when you drifted away from him, or when Jerusalem, the religious institution, cost you your faith. How whatever it is you've been looking for all your life, wherever you have been looking for it, it was him all along. And you will find him precisely where you last left him. Tell others this message too. No matter how long this Holy Saturday experience will last as we continue to isolate, do not be afraid. Don't worry if you feel estranged from Jerusalem right now. Go to Galilee, to the place where you first met. He wants to reset your faith, your life, to that point where he touched your heart and inspired you. You have been looking for him ever since. So invite Jesus into the present moment and ask him to shed light on your past, that you might have a bright future with him. This Easter, go home. Go to Galilee. Do not be afraid. So from all of us here at Christ the King Parish in Dartmouth, we wish you a truly blessed Easter.